We're going to start with good morning. I said good morning, good morning. We're going to start with hymn 361 in your gray hymnal, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. So if you would please stand in body or spirit and join me. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter your ears and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Please be seated.
Welcome to the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF as we like to say. I'll let the beloved community chorus come into place. My name is Reverend Jacqueline Brett. I'm the lead minister here, and whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, gender, identity, whomever you love, and whoever you choose to vote for, you are welcome to form beloved community here with us. If you're visiting with us today, or perhaps you have just come back after being away for a long while, we invite you to rise in body or spirit so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so happy that you have chosen to spend your Sunday morning here with us. Directly after this service, if you have children, and I see that at least one of you do, we have a wonderful religious education program, and all children are invited to participate. That happens right after the time for all ages. Actually, the kids are staying in the service this week, but normally we would have a time for all ages right after the service. After the time for all ages, there is a religious education program. Also, if you're visiting, we have the Inquirers classes for visitors and newcomers. That takes place right after service in the building next door, and you can learn something about our congregation. It's a series of classes, so you get to meet some of our folks here, the ministers here, and I will actually be leading that class today, so I hope to see some of you there. So we have something very important happening at ERUUF in the weeks ahead. We are once again an early voting site, which is a wonderful thing that we get to do that and be that. And so that begins, I believe, on October 19th. It'll be in the fellowship hall. And for those of you who are members here, you'll begin to hear more about that, about what that means for all of us, because we won't have access to that building at all for about a month, and for good reasons. But also today, we are going to be participating in a huge grant that our UU Justice Ministry of North Carolina received, so that we could do some of the work with UU The Vote. So Beth Harvat, Beth, where are you? I know I saw you. Are you in the, there she is. Beth, could you just rise so people can see who you are? Yes. Beth Beth will actually be leading some postcard writing to Democrats in Cabarrus County, North Carolina, who tend to not vote or are not registered to vote, and we want to encourage them to vote. It is a predominantly people of color county in North Carolina, and we really want them to vote for their best interests. So we are doing some postcard writing. We are actually congregations all over North Carolina are doing postcard writing, but we're focused on Cabarrus County. So please join Beth in room 1 right after the service in the building next door, in the care building, and you can participate in that. She'll be doing that this week and also next week, but if you have some moments to spare after the service, it will be for a great cause, and you can at least find out something about it. And it allows all of us to do something on behalf of voting rights here in North Carolina, and that's a very important thing. So now would be a great time to turn off or down any devices that you have on your person. Our service this morning is being led by the Reverend Jim Lewis. Jim is making his debut as our worship leader and has lots of amazing things planned for us this morning. And so Jim is leading the service. We have music, music, music. Once again, the Beloved Community Chorus. We have the Eno River Singers, all led by Wendy Looker, our music director. We have, where is Dick Clark is playing his cello this morning, and Kate Lewis, as always, is our pianist. Our tech team this morning are John Fellheim is our broadcast technician, and Michelle Sager is our media. She's on the camera, who I rely on so much. Michelle Sager is on our camera, and Kathleen, what is your last name? Just shout it out. Valenti. Kathleen Valenti is our sound technician for this morning, and we have a host of people participating in today's worship service, and you'll get to hear from them a little later. So with that, why don't we all center ourselves? Let's just all center ourselves and bring ourselves into this time, into this place. And let's all together take a deep breath in and let it out. And let us begin worship.
Unto Thank you, beloved community chorus, for welcoming us to worship this morning. Good morning and happy Pride Weekend, ERUUF. Can I hear a good morning from you? Oh, that was almost loud enough. Can I hear a good morning from you? Good morning. There we go. I love it. It is good to be with you for this time together in the midst of all that Pride brings with it. Celebration, remembrance, protest, excitement, and more. We open our worship today with these words.
We come together today to honor the universal community of seekers to which we all belong.
We gather together today to share from our deepest place of safety, that we might nurture ourselves by celebrating one another.
We call into our presence this hour of our ancestors, whose love, labor, and commitment made it possible for us to be here now.
Let us call one another to the table of abundance, that we may feed on those fruits that sustain us and ever ask us to grow.
Let us open to this moment with hearts that have no borders.
Our chalice lighting this morning. May the light of this chalice give light and warmth to our community when we are joyful and when we despair. And may we feel the warmth spread from our circle to the wider and wider circles until all know they belong to the one circle of life.
And as we prepare for our opening hymn, just a couple of words from our music director, Wendy Looker.
Our opening hymn, We Are a Gentle, Angry People, was written by Holly Neer after she heard about the attack on out-gay politician Harvey Milk in 1978. As suggested by Holly Neer, we've changed the lyrics, We Are Gay and Straight Together, to We Are All in This Together, to better represent the full spectrum of our modern-day LGBTQ+ community and our allies. So please rise, embody your spirit, and join us in singing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People, found in the gray hymnal. The words are also projected on the screen.
Angry
turn and greet your neighbor.
We really felt belonging when ERUUFians celebrated our wedding with us.
Belonging to this community means a deep commitment to expanding the circle of love and support.
Hi everyone, Javon here. I know I belong when I can go anywhere in the USA and wear my Butch Pride shirt. We've come a long way. Happy Pride, everyone.
I know I belong when people tell me the truth about hard things with kindness, and when they appreciate that I do the same.
Hi, we are Susanna and Mo Murray. We are newlyweds.
And for me, belonging is enthusiastic affirmation of my identity.
And for me, it's when my identity is unremarkable and doesn't require any explanation or justification.
Belonging is when people's gifts and skills and fears and needs matter to the community, and when people feel supported enough to share those. And what does belonging mean?
Well, belonging means to me for being like supportive of the people listening to me, other people listening, I listen to them. That's important to me. Thank you. Bye.
Namaste, friends. I know I belong because I have never, ever felt alone.
Belonging is feeling like our family is part of the natural landscape of ERUUF. We've always felt like we belonged here, but the year that our two-mom family was invited to read the children's story for Mother's Day, we felt the love of this place at a whole new level.
One of the first things that came to mind when I heard this was about writing a grant with Evelyn about the transgender issues. It got approved in this church.
Excellent.
And all the churches I've been to, this would not have been their priority. And all the people around me, surrounding me, supported me. They participated in the groups. You don't think that's kind of cool?
It's great. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
I guess when it comes to me, I was thinking about belonging, and in 1973 was a real turning point, because prior to that I had a mental illness. There's a book, the DSM, or the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, and up to that point, one of the mental disorders that was listed in that book was homosexuality. And then in 1973, the board voted to take that out. And I thought that was a big turning point in the gay community, and we've really come a long way from 1973.
Yes, we have. You know why I know that?
How?
We're doing this video.
Yeah, we were asked to do this video.
For the congregation.
Yep.
I also want to say that I would like to thank Evelyn for writing the the grant with me, and I'd like to thank Diane Blount, my wife, for videoing this.
Yes. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane.
You're welcome, and thank you. This is truly a sense of belonging, us being together and doing this video.
Kiddos, I got a surprise. I'm doing the story today. Come on down, kiddos. Come join me. All the kiddos, come on down. Or if you're young at heart, you're welcome to join us as well. Yes, come on down. Come on. Oh, I like that mask. You can have a seat. Yeah, have a seat right here. I like your jacket too. That is a cool jacket. Yeah, and we have some things for you all. Yeah. I think he's got it covered. Yeah. Yeah. Can I have one? Thank you. I got my flag too. Yeah. This is great. Does everyone have a flag? All of you have flags? Great. So, who knows what holiday we've celebrated this weekend? Does anyone here know what holiday we celebrated? What did you say, Liam? Say that loud. Pride, right, that's right. We celebrated Pride this weekend. Were any of you out yesterday at the Pride Parade? Yeah, me too. I was there too. So we're gonna read this story this morning. 'Twas the night before Pride. So this is all about preparing for Pride. And so it says, "'Twas the night before Pride, a warm evening in June." For us, it was September. Because we're down here in the South and we just can't do Pride in June. All the people got ready with the rise of the moon. The drag queens all brushed their wigs with great care. And the bikers checked their tires to make sure they had air. All across the city, people's outfits were planned and instruments polished for the queer marching band. My mom told us all we should go to bed early. She's that kind of mom who's more boyish than girly. While Mama finished packing our snacks in a bag, Sammy started chewing on the edge of our flag. Don't chew your flags. As I finished my sign, which I laid on the floor, I remembered the prides I'd been to before. All day we will walk in the streets up and down. Pride's one of the best celebrations around. There are floats and loud music and rainbows and glitter. Last year we ran into our babysitter. Tomorrow will be baby Sammy's first Pride. Can we tell the whole story? I hopefully cried. So we sat on the couch, a mom on each side, and took turns telling the tale of the very first Pride. So we're going to hear about that. A long, long time ago in 1969, before most of you were here, before any of you were here, there wasn't a Pride March. It was a less fair time. Queer people all over of each shape and size didn't have any rights recognized. So much of their lives they had to keep hidden. Even their clothing was sometimes forbidden. Stonewall was a place where it was safe to be proud, but police would storm in to say this wasn't allowed. So one hot night in June, people stopped being quiet. They decided to fight and started a riot. More and more gathered to fight back in the heat. Some started a kick line in the middle of the street. Police broke up the crowd night after night, but the people stood strong, knowing this wasn't right. And so it began, a march that spread worldwide to show everyone it's good to have pride. It sometimes happens we're not given respect. It can take a long time for some to accept. That's why every year we all get together and march in the streets, no matter the weather. And look at that. Wow. We march to know that we matter, to show all we exist, and that any oppression we must always, always, always resist. Yes, lots of rainbow stuff, yeah. So Pride's not just about tutus and rainbow suspenders. It's about rights for queers and all our beautiful genders. Pride's a day that is crowded. It's a day that is long. It's a day that means together we are strong. As I closed my eyes, I thought of Pride's past. Pride means to me, being yourself is a blast. So tomorrow, or for us yesterday, I will march with my family and cheer. Happy Pride to all. It's great my family is here. Yeah. So what did you all think about that? I loved it. You loved it, yes. Yeah, so did I. So Reverend Jim's going to join me right now. And yeah.
Where do I put it?
Yes.
Put it right here. There we go. Sorry, got to find my pocket, y'all. So I get to come up here and join you too, because we're going to do something that we're going to call a body meditation. And you all get to do it with us, and everybody sitting out there gets to do it with us, but you get to do it with us from where you're sitting. We're going to move around a bit. Are you ready to move around a little bit?
Yeah.
So we're going to have our own march, and we're going to march with different feelings in our body, feelings that might have to do with pride now and pride's past, and you get to cheer us on with those feelings of pride's now and pride's past. So let's stand up right where you are. We're going to practice this, and if you're out there, do it sitting. Do it sitting, so people can see y'all. So let's start by marching. What's a march like? We're going to move our feet. We're going to march a little bit and wave your flag, yeah? Now, the first emotion we're going to have is going to be joy or happiness. How do you move in a way that's very happy? Yeah, there's a lot of happiness. Do you sometimes say something? Yeah! Woo! Woo! Sometimes we cheer. Oh, that's great, that's great. So we're going to move sometimes with happiness. And then sometimes we're going to march with sadness. Because sometimes part of pride has been that we've lost people. And we're sad about that. And that's part of pride too. So let's march. And we're going to march like we're sad. And it's okay. It's okay to be sad. Sometimes it's just true. Sometimes we might wipe tears away. We might have some tears in our eyes. How would you cheer us on even though you were sad? How might you do that? A little clapping, some hearts. I see some rubbing hands. And then, now this one's complicated, y'all. This one's complicated. Because sometimes we march with anger. Because we're mad about something, sometimes because people aren't being treated well. People aren't being treated right. So we march with anger or protest. How do your feet move? How would you cheer us on in that? Oh, yes, that's great, Miss Joan. Yeah, I see you out there. Woo! Good. Okay, we're going to bring it back in. I'm going to give you a hint. We're going to end with happiness again, but we're not going to do it right now, y'all. We're not going to do it right now. So we're going to march, and I get to lead you, and Reverend Jacqueline is going to make sure we all come up in the back. And everybody out there in the seats, can you get ready to cheer us on as we march? Can you get ready? Excellent. So we're going to march. Kate, can you give us a little music? So let's march with joy. Woo. Woo. Yeah, come on down. Come on. Woo. Woo. We're going to march with joy, happiness. Woo. All right, now we're a little sadder. Sadness. We're going to march with sadness now. Some tears. Some tears. Thinking about people that we've lost. People that we love. Excellent there, Will. Some sadness, yes. Now anger and protest. Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, we're going back down this way. And then back to happiness. Woo! Woo! And joy. Watch out for the step. We're going to come right back down to here. Woo. Excellent. And can we get one final cheer? Woohoo! Woo. Thank you for joining us in that joy, in that sorrow, in that protest, in that thoughtfulness. And now as we get ready to move forward in our worship, if you would move gently back to your seats. Did you play?
Among my circle of friends, there's an ongoing inside joke, to quote song lyrics that give terrible advice. Among them are, don't cry out loud, hold it inside, learn how to hide your feelings. Another is, smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. There exists, however, a growing body of scientific and anecdotal evidence that it's possible to fake it till we make it. On our way to happiness, on our way to happiness. And that such faking doesn't necessarily deny the full range of our human emotional experience. Studies tell us there's a connection between the upward movement in the corners of the mouth, i.e. smiling, and the production of serotonin in the brain. Maybe this is why nowadays my therapist ends most sessions by telling me the same thing my mom used to shout at us whiny, bored kids on long summer days. Go play. To play is to pretend, and honestly, sometimes the world seems too heavy to leave the house, let alone inspire moments of joy. But the more I watch the news these days, the more I'm coming to view playing, intentionally seeking joy, as a means of radical resistance. And I'll continue to laugh with my friends at songs that deliver terrible emotional advice.
loving beings who surround me and inside me. As I go on my way, I need your reflection to invite the kindness of kindred, to attract genuine care, to welcome radical hospitality. I need your force to send back viciousness from its source, to resist confusion of cowardice, to reject hate before it originates. In return, I offer you all of my excellence. I am only visible to rightness and beloveds. May I move with power today. It is so.
Only Kate could go from playing all this different music to Minnie Riperton. I don't know how many of you all are old enough to know who Minnie Riperton was, but boy, that's a beautiful song, Kate. Thank you. Loving you. Please join me for these words of meditation and prayer. Spirit of ages, creator of life and love, whose names and attributes are infinite, knowable, and unknown. O Spirit, hear our prayers. Our names, too, are many. Let me tell you who we are. We are those who are innocent and those who are wise. We are those who are proud and those who are humble. We are dressed in all the glorious hues of ethnicity and all the fascinating textures of genetics. We are the harvests of creation, related by our humanity and separated only by our own voices. We seek a common language, a language of love. Wise one, it is important to us in our myriad similarities, it is important to know us in our myriad similarities, for we are forgetful and we need reminding. Dear one, it is important to know us in our many disguises, for we need but one thing: help us to love. And help us to know we are worthy of love. I invite us now to enter the silent contemplations of our hearts. We lift up all the beloveds among us who are celebrating joys or who are holding heartfelt concerns. We lift up those in the world who are experiencing injustice, fire, flood, drought, famine, or war. May all receive what they most need to flourish and thrive. May all be moved in the ways of loving kindness and peace. In this, may we be as one. Amen, Ashe, and blessed be.
Good morning again, ERUUF. As I was writing a piece of insight, I kept thinking to myself, what would child me have wanted to hear about pride? What would youth me wanted to hear about pride? What would young adult me want to have heard about pride growing up? So hopefully we'll find some of that in here. I want to start with a personal story, a story about how I first came to a Unitarian Universalist congregation. A story that for the youth and the children out there might be very different than your story, since many of you have been in a UU congregation most of your life. I grew up in a Presbyterian church, and I will tell you, it wasn't a horrible place to be. I'm quite lucky, unlike some of my LGBTQ plus siblings, that I didn't get constant judgment from within my own church. That is not true for all of us who have come to Unitarian Universalism later in life. But things like sexual orientation and gender identity were still somewhat taboo topics. So while my minister said, "I think it's no problem that you're gay," that would never be said from the pulpit. And trust that there were indeed hurtful and harmful things being said from other pulpits, as I think most of us know. But one day in college, I went to a UU congregation to see what it was all about. It was a PFLAG meeting, parents and friends of lesbians and gays, and I was like, well, I'll just pretend to be a friend today. I'm not quite out, I'm just gonna be a friend. And you know what, I picked up the information on UU, and I was like, oh, maybe I need to come back. So a few months later, we were preparing to do a congregation-wide curriculum called Welcoming Congregations, talking about how UUs could be more welcoming toward LGBTQ plus people. I had something to say in this meeting about welcoming congregations, but I had to come out to say it for it to make sense. So I did. I stood up, I came out, and I gave my feedback. And everyone just nodded like everything was normal. Afterwards, I was affirmed by that congregation as myself. As gay at that time, I would say queer now. And it also wasn't a big deal. I felt welcomed. And while before that, I felt like that was where I belonged, in that congregation, that day, I really knew it. Earlier in the video on belonging, many wonderful things were said, and one of those was what Mo and Susanna Murray said, and that brought this story back to my mind. Feeling like a person belongs was about enthusiastic affirmation of identity for Mo. That feeling of, yes, I know who you are, and I think all that you are is wonderful. All that you are is lovely. And for Susanna, belonging was about her identity being unremarkable and not requiring explanation. Just being normal as is, and not requiring words to say, this is why I identify that way, or this is why those pronouns are what they are. And while those two ideas might seem like a contradiction, I feel like combining those ideas helps people feel like they belong. That's how I felt that day in that UU congregation. I felt both like people saw me, as I would say now, a queer person, and saw that I was fantastic and I was a whole and wonderful person, and also that is a normal way a person can be and does not require explanation. That's the religious experience, the spiritual experience that I want for all of us. And especially this Pride weekend, our youth, our children, and our adults that are LGBTQ+. To be fully your identity and to be seen as whole and wise in those identities, and also normal and fully real. And let me say something that may not be controversial for a UU congregation, but is controversial in other places. Our LGBTQ+ siblings are whole, are lovely, and are deserving of love as they are. As they are. They are wonderful as they are, as we are, and let me also say, our straight siblings and our cisgender siblings are too. They're just not the focus this week, this weekend. They are lovely too. And I just have to say on this Pride weekend, I hold a lot of joy in myself. I hold a lot of joy in myself today that we get to be out queer and fully robed and fully ready today, ministers who get to say that to you. We not only have the religious freedom to say that to you, and believe me, that is religious freedom right there. This affirmation of LGBTQ+ people is part of my religious beliefs and my spiritual beliefs. So if we're talking about religious freedom, that's part of it. Not only do I have that religious freedom to say that, we are part of a faith tradition that advocates for it. We are part of a faith tradition that advocates for that, even as others are trying to use religious freedom to try and frame LGBTQ+ people as dangerous, that are trying to limit usage of words that allow us to even admit that LGBTQ people exist, that are trying to advocate for laws to ban books, ban trans participation in sports. Heck, some even just want to ban trans existence. So I hope, and I pray for us today, that we continue to do our best welcoming, that we do our best to help people belong, that we feel called to be thoughtful about how we welcome people in and continue to grow in that welcoming, that we welcome them enthusiastically as their identities, respecting their pronouns, respecting their understanding of themselves, and letting them just get to be full people in this space, regardless of how they are made to feel in spaces outside of here. To get to be full and real. And I just said I have joy inside me, and that might be confusing in ways because I also just said a lot of ways that things were hard. A lot of ways LGBTQ+ people, and especially recently trans people, even more specifically, are being targeted right now in hurtful and hateful ways, and especially Black trans women, especially. And that is clearly not joyful. That clearly brings sadness and anger, like in our body meditation. That is real and often painful in our experience of the world. So why? Why do I still feel joy? Well, the hint is Finn and Sage's readings, if you hadn't gotten there yet. And also, like those readings, what I take from those readings is that sometimes that joy is essential, regardless of what's going on. Even if we have lost those we love, We do need to let ourselves feel those challenges, even if there are painful actions and painful laws occurring around us. We need to feel that. And sometimes we need to find time for that happiness and joy and play, even in the midst of challenge. Sometimes being joyful keeps us going, keeps us lively. Sometimes being joyful helps us survive. Sometimes playing makes the hard parts worth it. And sometimes we must pray, say an incantation, whatever we must do to gather our strength and own that we are deserving of love, deserving of joy. In my many years, not many years, medium amount of years, I have heard that pride is a protest or pride is a party. And I am here to say it is both. It should boldly be both. Pride is those times when we say the world is not as it should be and it needs to be better. When we get out in the streets and make a statement, we call our legislators to convince them to support the rights of all LGBTQ plus people to fight for a better world. And it is a time when our LGBTQ plus peeps get to feel joy and welcoming and belonging in this world as we are, and we get to have that party. And our allies can come too, to both of those things. So this Pride weekend, I wish for you both a protest and a party. And that even if you have sorrow and anger in you, you also get to experience joy, and that you get to feel, for small moments or large moments, that you fully, totally belong, that you are fully, holy, and joyously real. Amen and blessed be. And now, on that note, the call for the Offery. We weave the fabric of beloved community when we draw our circle even wider and commit ourselves to offering what we can through our time, our talent, our treasure, as we cultivate hearts of generosity toward the upliftment of our mission, our vision, and our work in the world. As the greeters come forward to pass the plates, if you do not have cash or checks on hand, we invite you to go to ERUUF.org on your device and hit the Give Now button and follow the instructions from there. If you need assistance with that, you can receive help in the office directly after the service. And now the beloved community chorus led by Wendy Looker will continue now with the offertory.
Many pray along the way. They don't stop to wonder
what the world is coming to.
they let something higher reveal the way to greater love.
So the truth is telling me,
Sing of liberation,
for the ones who are not free,
love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love.
so we let it wash over us,
We let it,
take us higher,
we let it,
make us kinder.
we let it be, we let it,
Early in the
we
morning,
let it,
hold us together,
we let it,
now and
we
forever.
let it be, we let it.
Many cry along the way,
Walking through the sadness,
in a world that needs to know.
love can take us higher, reveal the way to greater love.
Still the truth is telling me,
Love's the only answer,
and to all humanity,
we can say it's higher, reveal the way to greater love.
so we let it wash over us,
We let it,
take us higher,
we let it,
make us
we
kinder.
let it be, we let it,
Early in the morning,
we let it,
make us
we
together,
let it,
now and
we
forever.
let it be, we let the love wash over us. We
We let the joy, we let the peace, love,
Thank you for that, beloved community chorus. And I give thanks for your presence, your support, your contributions, your community this morning. Thank you, and blessings for what we all do here together. And now we invite you to rise in body or spirit for our final hymn, number 131, Love Will Guide Us. I look forward to hearing you sing joyously and with enthusiasm.
Number 131, Love Will Guide Us. In your gray hymnal, words are also on the screen. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road to greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
As we prepare to depart this space in celebration, we turn our attention to also honor the faith traditions that are also held by some who are in this space and many in this world. Rosh Hashanah, celebrating the Jewish New Year, begins this evening at sunset. To honor this time, Reverend Stacy will offer us a prayer and will sound the Tekiah Gadol on the Shofar, a long, joyful sound of renewal, goodness, and celebration.
The call of the shofar. How many words we hear today and every day. The words of our minds, the words others speak, the seemingly endless flow of thoughts, ideas, dreams, and visions. But it is the call of the shofar, the focused sound of breath, spiraling through nature's instrument that shatters our assumptions, blasts away our misgivings, and warns us of our hubris. It is the sound of the shofar, sometimes clear, sometimes struggling to be heard, that calls us to remember our Creator and our creation. It is the sound of the shofar that takes us back, 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 before words and time, to the primordial collective memory of the compassionate one who conceives us all. Here now, source of blessing, we surrender judgment, blame, and fear, and offer the vessels of our own bodies as shofarot, inviting the breath of life to sing through us.
And now we go forth into this world in celebration and reflection and joy. Amen. Blessed be, and peace be with you. Thank you. I'm going to give him a bottom clap. I'm going to second.